blood. Sometimes it sets my teeth on edge. Other times, it helps control the chaos. Tonight's the night, and it's going to happen again and again. It has to happen. And what has to happen is another product review. Today I'd like to do a product review of a flashlight that is straight out of Dexter Morgan's forensic EDC briefcase. This is the Streamlight 51010 TwinTask 3C 9-inch UV flashlight. That's right, this isn't just any normal flashlight, this is an ultraviolet flashlight. And what you saw in the intro was not blood, it was just laundry detergent that I picked up using the ultraviolet light. So what I'd like to do for this product review is go over an overview of the features. We'll also talk a little bit about ultraviolet light and what kind of items glow under ultraviolet light. And we'll do some testing of those items, and I'll talk about the pros and cons of this flashlight. So let's get started with this review of the Streamlight Twin-Task ultraviolet flashlight. The Streamlight Twin-Task ultraviolet flashlight includes an ultra-bright Xenon bulb plus 6 ultraviolet LEDs for UV detection. It is made of an anodized machine aluminum alloy body and has enhanced knurled grip, similar to the grip that you see on the 4.7's Cork Mini AA². It has a lens that is advertised as being unbreakable and scratch resistant. It is O-ring sealed and has a water resistance IPX rating of 4, which basically protects it against splashing water. It comes with a lanyard. It has a limited lifetime warranty. It cost around $40 on Amazon.com, and it is run by 3 C batteries. Ultraviolet light is electromagnetic radiation with a wavelength shorter than that of visible light, but longer than X-rays, so within the range of 10 to 400 nanometers. The typical eye responds to wavelengths from around 390 to 750 nanometers, and a nanometer is 1/1000th of a meter, so very, very small. So it got its name basically because the spectrum consists of electromagnetic waves with frequencies higher than that of the color violet, so then they call it ultraviolet. So these frequencies are invisible to humans, but they are visible to a number of insects and birds. And they are indirectly visible by causing fluorescent materials to glow with visible light. So let's go over the items that are visible and glow under ultraviolet light. Here's a list of items that will glow under ultraviolet light in no particular order. You have the US $20 bill, different body fluids such as blood, urine, and semen, antifreeze. They add fluorescent compounds into antifreeze to help detect radiator leaks. You also have the Emperor Scorpion, laundry detergents, tooth whiteners, postage stamps, jellyfish, tomato worms, cocaine, highlighters, most state driver's license and IDs, teeth, white paper, as we see here, and petroleum jelly. So a long list of items that will glow under ultraviolet light. Some of you may be curious on what makes materials glow under black or ultraviolet light. So let me try to explain. So I'll draw a little flashlight over here. And then this is the object that we're going to be shining the flashlight on. So basically, a black light gives off a highly energetic ultraviolet light, and you cannot see this part of the spectrum, which is why they call it a black light. So fluorescent substances absorb the ultraviolet light, and then they re-emit them almost instantaneously. But some energy gets lost in this process here, so the emitted light has a longer wavelength than the absorbed radiation. And this is what makes the light visible and causes the materials to appear to glow. Most people probably don't have a need to own an ultraviolet flashlight, but here's a list of people that would find it very beneficial. So forensic investigators, similar to Dexter Morgan, our favorite blood splatter analyst, auto technicians for looking for radiator leaks, fraud departments, house cleaners and janitors for places like at hotels or maybe adult movie theaters, security guards, bouncers, this would be a great backup billy club due to the weight of it, scorpion hunters, gardeners, and then general neat freaks. So overly cleanly people that want to make sure the bathroom is perfectly clean could use this. And that's a list of the people that would find the Streamlight Twin-Task ultraviolet flashlight very useful. Let's talk about the bulbs of this flashlight. So this flashlight is operated using a push button to cycle through all the different modes. So when you press it the first time, that's on low mode with the ultraviolet setting. You have high mode on ultraviolet, and then you have the Xenon bulb. So with the Xenon, you get a runtime of 5 hours. When you go back to the low setting, you get 160 hours runtime with the 3 LEDs. And then with all 6 LEDs, you get a runtime of 100 hours. So with the Xenon bulb, this has an output of 57 lumens. So just as a comparison, a flashlight like the Phoenix E05, this has output of 27 lumens. So the Xenon's about twice as much. And that's a quick overview of the bulbs. Let's go over the size and weight of the Streamlight Twin-Task ultraviolet flashlight. Now the overall length of the flashlight is 9.02 inches, which is 22.91 centimeters, so it's almost exactly 9 inches. The diameter of the body is 1.26 inches, which is 3.2 centimeters, and the diameter of the head is 1.68 inches, which is 4.27 centimeters. Now the weight of this flashlight with the batteries is almost exactly 1 pound. To be exact, it's 0.989 pounds or 453.6 grams. And that's almost all battery weight. So this is actually a very nice flashlight if you want to have it as a backup weapon, because it's packs a punch. And those are the dimensions and the weight of the flashlight. What I'd like to do now is go in the other room and run through a few test scenarios using the ultraviolet flashlight, and we're going to shine it on some materials that we know should glow under ultraviolet light. So let's get in the other room and get started. Let's test out how the Streamlight Twin-Task 3C performs with some of the items that are supposed to glow under ultraviolet light. The first item that we have is some Tide. The next item we have is some antifreeze. Third, that's right, we have some urine. And the fourth item we have is a $20 bill. So let's turn off the lights and see what we find. To start off this test, let's go with the low setting first, and then we'll go to the high setting. So let me turn it on to low. Turn off the headlamp. And we'll shine it on the Tide. See, it's glowing a nice bright blue. Let's move on to the antifreeze. So you get the camera to focus. It's bright neon green. Move on to the TheUrbanPrepper urine. Not as bright, is it? And then lastly, let's look at the $20 bill. Okay, and there's that neon line that we're looking for. Alright, let's move on to high setting. Okay, so here's the Tide. Back over to the antifreeze. TheUrbanPrepper urine. And back to the $20 bill. So as you can see, the stuff that is supposed to glow does glow. What I like to do now is test out the 57 lumens beam of the Xenon light. We're going to shine it up against the wall at around 10 feet. And then we're going to do a beam comparison of that flashlight with the 36 lumens of the 47's Quark Mini AA squared on medium setting, just to give you a little bit of a beam comparison. So let's turn off the lights and get started. Let's start off first with the Streamlight Twin-Task. As you can see, it has a very centered beam to it. It's not the most evenly circular beam. You can see it has a little dimple in it, actually. It's very yellow in color. It doesn't really spread at all. It's just highly centered and focused. And let's compare it now with the Quark Mini AA squared. And this is a much nicer beam, in my opinion. It's more blue in color. Now, I could put this on the 180 lumens, but this is on medium setting right now. Back to the Streamlight. The Quark. And here's the two of them together. And that is the beam comparison of the Streamlight Twin-Task versus the Quark Mini AA squared. Let's go over the pros and cons of the Streamlight Twin-Task ultraviolet flashlight. We'll start first with the pros. So this flashlight is very durable. It's great construction quality on it. It's made from a reputable manufacturer, which I enjoy. I don't think this flashlight's going to break with just normal use on it. I really like the Knurled grip on it, so if it were to get wet, even though it's only IPX4 rated, your hand's not going to slip on it at all. I do like that it has several different modes on it, or a handful of modes, and also gives you the option of having just a normal flashlight as well. The lanyard is a nice feature. I really like the strength of the lanyard. It's a nice length as well. I really also enjoy the size of this thing. Especially if you're a bouncer or security guard and you need to check someone's ID. I really like that it's kind of like a little billy club. I think it's pretty cool. Anything else? It has a great warranty on it, so that's another plus for it. And that's what I have listed for the pros of this flashlight. Now let's go over the cons of this flashlight. I don't have too many. So the number one con I have with it is the push button operation. I really don't like that you have to cycle through all three modes just to get to the off state. So you go from low mode to high to the Xenon bulb and then to off. I wish that they had an option for once you did a full press on it that you could do little half presses to cycle through the different modes, similar to what other flashlights have to offer. The next con that I have with this flashlight is that it's kind of heavy for EDC purposes. So unless you're a security guard, you're not going to really want to have this, tied on your belt. It's pretty big and bulky for that. So, it'd be kind of cool if it came in a real small form factor, similar to the 4.7's Quark Mini AA squared. Although I don't know if you could even do that kind of capabilities of the, the 6 LED lights in this small of a flashlight. So that's not a real con, but just, you're not going to want to carry this with you at all times unless you're in a specific field. The third con that I had with it is that the Xenon flashlight, it's kind of, the beam is not the greatest beam in the world. Most of the other flashlights that you have are going to be better than this one. But, it's kind of, you're buying this flashlight for the ultraviolet LEDs, not really for the Xenon. So, and that's all I really have listed for the cons. I'm not going to really knock it too much for only being IPX4 rated. Most of the flashlights I have are IPX8, but you're really not going to be by too many swimming pools with this ultraviolet flashlight, so I won't hold it against it. And that's all I have listed for the cons. That's going to do it for this product review of the Streamlight Twin-Task 3C ultraviolet flashlight. In summary, this is a very cool and unique flashlight to own. Most people probably aren't even ever going to think that they should have an ultraviolet flashlight, but once you have it, you're going to show it off to all your friends. We've been taking it out to different people's houses and testing out their toilets to see, how clean they really are, and it's just kind of a fun thing to show with people. So it'd make a great gift for any of your friends or family that are real neat freaks, and they want to make sure that their house is spotless. This would be a cool gift to give them. So let's wrap up this video of the Streamlight Twin-Task ultraviolet flashlight. I hope you enjoyed watching this product review of the Streamlight Twin-Task ultraviolet flashlight. If you decide to pick one up, you will definitely unleash your inner forensic detective. Please feel free to leave any kind of comments below in the comment section, and I'll talk with you later. Take care.